wolves in Europe. And maybe I introduce you in short, okay. Professor Henryk Okarma. Some say he's the godfather of European wolf research. One of the, or maybe the most experienced researcher in Europe with wolf, I think. And we are very happy to be here, you now, and give us a lecture for our students, and so we can learn from you and your experience a lot. And what is your impression about the situation of wolves in Central Europe, in Poland, in Germany, in other countries? What is your impression? What is your outlook at the first sight?
I think that, thank you very much, first of all, Sven, to be invited here, because I like to be very much here. After the COVID situation, again, we got a chance to be and to meet you. And actually, within these 3 years, the wolf situation also changed dynamically in our areas. I think that Poland, Germany, we are sharing more or less the same pattern with wolves. So we got wolf population which still grows, both in Poland and in Germany. Legal status is a little bit different, or quite different, because in the Habitat Directive, the wolf in Germany is Annex 4, which means that you require the species to be strictly protected. In Poland, we got an exception from Annex 4. In its Annex 5, but it was the Polish law. We somehow decided in Poland that the wolf is protected species. So effectively, it's more or less at the same level. Still, population grows very dynamically. I do not know actually what is the number now, but in Poland, we unfortunately has no any type of monitoring right now. So the population grows. Anybody knows that wolves are, in more new areas, but concerning the number, basically has no information at all. The level of conflict is getting higher and higher. I consider conflict not only through the killing, for example, domestic animals. This is in Poland. It's at least somehow handled pretty well, because the government pays compensations. But the important field of conflicts is conflict between hunters and wolves, because this is quite normal. There's the ecological function of wolves. They kill white ungulates. But for us as the hunters, ungulates is also a valuable resource. So immediately we got a conflict. And recently I think that the most important and heated conflict I hope that I'm going to show the students some interesting films, which were done recently in Poland, is direct conflict between humans and people, especially villagers. Mm-hmm. Wolves are coming closer and closer to us. Mm-hmm. And I think that I do not know how it will be in Germany, but I think that in many European countries, we observe that the so-called distance between humans and wolves just decreases step by step and decreases. And if the distance decreases, it means that probability of direct interactions is getting higher and higher. Yeah. And at least in many Polish rural societies, this is the major problem, which is followed by killing of domestic dogs and so.
It's very interesting. So we have similar problems and conflicts, but not the same. In Germany, the hunters are quite well coexisting with the wolf. Actually, they have a very reserved opinion about wolves. Yes, they don't like the species, but they arranged themselves a little bit with the situation. Say, okay, hunting is becoming more difficult. Maybe we have a little bit less roe deer, we have a little bit less red deer, but it might be okay. With some exceptions. One exception is mouflon. Mouflon disappears, and those hunters, they care for mouflon. They are not very happy about wolf. But it was also the situation with lynx, for example, in the Harz Mountains before. Our most critical point are the small livestock farmers. sheep, goat, a lot of small ungulates, maybe for economic purposes, but also they are paid from nature conservation agencies for keeping landscapes open, for example. And keeping small livestock is quite, yes, it's a business with very low wages, and they cannot pay, for example, for some helping people because of our minimum wages are too high for them. So all of them, or nearly all of the sheep farmers, have an own enterprise because they cannot engage some people because it's too expensive for them, and they calculate with a wage of €4 per hour for themselves, and that's not allowed to pay to some other people. And these people are coming in a situation that our society asks them, okay, you have to protect your herds, you have to fence them, you have to increase the fences, you have to use electric fences and so on. And yes, we pay for that, but society pays maybe for the fence, but not for the work managing the fence. Or society pays for the predated people, for the predated
sheep.
Animals, sheep,
yeah.
And they say yes, that might be okay, and others say no, especially the smaller farmers. They say we like our animals, we love our animals, we keep them not like pets, but we know them by name. And it's
emotional side.
Emotional side is completely denied, and so the biggest resistance against wolf comes from the small livestock farming, and they feel to be left alone in this society because the NGOs of the farmers, for example, the Bauernverband, they say it's not so interested in our small business. They're having clients with having thousands of hectares of agriculture, of crops and so on. And the situation changes a little bit as bigger animals come into the focus of wolf. So a lot of cattle has been predated by wolf. Horses have been predated more and more. And now the problem becomes more recent for all.
Yeah. And I would like to ask you about this, the illegal actions against wolves, because it's in Poland definitely. I think that I can say it in open that our hunters are killing illegally quite many wolves. It's difficult to say what numbers. It's difficult to say what percentage of the population it could be. But I think that impact of hunters is heavy. They got rifles. They got they are in the field, so that's only a part of these animals, of the wolves killed illegally, is detected. So in my opinion, the sort of the biggest controversy and the most important problem for the conservation of the wolf populations, they are not our sheep owners and small farmers, but in Poland, I definitely think they are definitely hunters.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. Yes, it might change the situation in future, but actually, our hunters and even also the livestock farmers, Germans are known for following the law and the rules. It is old Preußen inheritance, I think. Clearly, there will be some illegal killings, clearly. But I don't think it's so much of the population. Maybe in some regions more, in some regions less. But normally, hunters will somehow coexist. What I actually feel is that the small livestock farmers are no longer willing to tolerate the situation. and there's a rumor between them, and you hear it if you giving lectures or giving presentations. You hear this rumor that I have an idea and I have some good measure that works. And if you hear that, the situation becomes dangerous because it becomes slipping out of control, I think.
I think that we should somehow follow the same way of doing things, both in Germany and in Poland. I remember times not many years ago when there was no single wolf basically in Germany. That was 25 years ago. It was a sort of sensation that the wolves were crossing the Oder River or so and coming to Germany. Now, I think my private judgment is that the wolf population in Germany is only a little bit lower in numbers than in Poland. So the population grows like a hell. We still do not have a good mechanism actually to handle the situation. In Poland, the nature conservation authorities, they are saying like that. The wolf is and it will be in the closest future a strictly protected species. And there was no exception. Of course, if we got some serious cases of I do not know, close contact with humans, many domestic animals are killed in particular spots, then the general directorate for the conservation of environment, which is managing the wolf, it issues some special exceptions. But they are just single exceptions, and very often those single exceptions are written like that you allow to kill the wolf just causing problem. So it looks like wolves were marked with some special labels. I'm causing the problem. The second one is not causing the problem. So of course few wolves are killed, but there are few wolves are killed. We have no program. We have no conservation plan for the country. We have no agreement. We have no involvement of all key groups like that. And nature conservation authorities are still hesitating.
It's the same as us. With us, we have a wait and see strategy. We have looking what happens, but there's no action, no active management somehow. And I often tell our students, so there was 50 years or 60 years ago, it was a very simple way of wolf management, what means kill every wolf you see. And now we have also a very simple form of management. Don't harm any wolf, whatever he will do or she will do. And I think both are very simple and too simple solutions. So we need an active and an intelligent management, but it's the same in Germany, we don't have.
Somehow, when you introduced me, you told me that you described me as somebody who spent quite many years in the wolf management and conservation, which is true. But I always saying that the most important and famous persons are of course in United States is David Mitch, and in Europe is Luigi Boitani. And I quite often, when I got lectures or meetings with either hunters or even the people in the cities, and so I always using a sort of sentences which Boitani and Mitch wrote some years ago, when they said like that we save the species from the extinction as the wolf, and it is true. But now we need to implement a completely different conservation strategy. Conservation which is not based, as you said, on that we should save every wolf which is observed, but we should build a conservation strategy which will build acceptation of the society and acceptation of the key groups for the wolf, which would require, for example, that some wolves should be officially killed. Maybe that would require there will be some zones wolf-free. I do not know. I'm just giving the examples, but some steps which are very unpopular between so-called deep conservationists or deep ecologists. But we should get a consensus. If we have no compromise between this, we are coming to the situation exactly which you described pretty well. We are observing the development of the population, and we are not making any proactive steps for the future.
So what could such a first step be, in your opinion? Because we have, you know, that it's maybe similar in Poland, the hunters are demanding, okay, bring wolf into the hunters legislation. But maybe this would not be the best idea, actually. Other countries in Europe have other ways to manage the problem. What would you recommend? What would be your idea to manage wolf in a way that helps conservation on the one hand, but helps also the other land users and land utilization on the other hand?
We really observe right now in European countries that each country handles the problems itself. You know, we know the controversial situation in basically all Scandinavian countries. It was started in Finland. You remember some years ago when on a relatively small population they already reduced the numbers, which was a lot of controversy between NGOs. But finally, even from the EU point of view, they said, okay. They got a full they got a full monitoring of the population. They knew how many they got, and so they knew reproduction, and so finally even these lawyers from Brussels, they say they manage the population in a sustainable way actually. Then now we have the case in Sweden. Then quite many wolves can be killed in so-called Baltica, Latvia, Estonia, Lithuania. Wolf is a game species. Yeah. However, hunting is pretty strictly controlled by the government. Yeah. Each individual is checked by the scientists and so. They got excellent data. Yes. So I think that's absolutely sustainable use. Yeah. Eastern from us, let's say when in Poland, wolf was strictly protected species. In Slovakia, south of us, wolf was a game species. So there was quite a lot of political pressure. So Slovak government already 3 years ago decided to get wolves as in Poland as a strictly protected species, which was announced to be a very big conservation success. This year, the Slovak government just opened official discussion to get it back to the game, because they started to have a problems which they didn't manage, they didn't were allowed to handle. In Poland, probably, I think that the ideal for me, I would agree with you. I'm always saying like that. In Poland, we should manage and control the population. However, I think that it is not yet good time to include wolf again to the game species list, because hunters are not grown up enough, they are not mature enough, and the society is not mature enough. This is very controversial step, but I think that what I suggested already 10 years ago, that nobody wanted to listen, was that the Minister of Environment, it should create a special advisory group which should include scientists, representatives of hunters, deep conservationists, sheep owners, etc., etc. And that group should very carefully work out a management plan for the species. In my opinion, successful management plan should not include per se, for example, strict protection of the species. Absolutely not. For me, the ideal situation would be to get the wolf in Poland as the partly protected species. It means that still the nature conservation authorities will decide on the possible management. For example, if they will have also the full data on the damage to the livestock, for example, such a group can advise to the Minister of Environment, okay, for example, in that province, we should reduce, I do not know, 25 wolves this season. And if this type of adaptive management from year to year would be introduced, then at least I hope that that rural societies, people in the village, now we have incredibly negative attitude from the village people to the wolf. Why? Yeah. Because they are losing money. They, from the economical point of view, you said it's not only that they lost that particular sheep, they are also losing some extra money. For example, there are some people who obtain some extra EU money to maintain a genetic valuable brand of sheep. And they are signing a contract, for example, that they obtain money for 100 sheep kept. If they are lose some of those sheep due to the wolf predation, they are losing money. So economically, wolves attacked sheep during the day right now. So before it was like that those sheep owners got a day as a sort of the rest time when they can do something, they organize themselves, whatever, they rest and something. And of course they should keep eyes open at night. Now the wolves attack day and night. Yeah. So, and if we are not going to show that people that somebody is taking care for them, that for example some authorities is proactive and of course removing some wolves, and later of course examining what's going on, we are going to follow the same way as we did with the hunters. Hunters are against wolves, hunters are conducting illegal things, and soon we will have the same actions done by the small farmers. But then they will use poison, which will be also a disaster for other species.
That's it. Yeah. So this management concept, it sounds similar to that Wildlife Management Board of the United States, for example. They have also similar institution where maybe the local people, the hunters, the indigenous people, and all of them are together and deciding management plans. It would be a very, very interesting idea, yes.
And then I think this is only, of course, it's going to be a compromise. And with the compromise, as we know, nobody is happy. So the ultra hunters against wolves, they will be no happy because they will be happy only when the wolves is going to be killed. Ultra green people will be not happy because some of those wolf populations should be reduced. Some of the wolves should be killed. But I think that compromise means that the sort of the group between the radical left and right wingers are satisfied somehow. Yeah. And I know the situation also in the United States. You remember how it was. Yellowstone area. This is a clear management plan for the wolf. If some wolves are leaving the protection zones, can be legally killed. Yeah. And there was that famous case of the very famous wolf, which was caused the name and the radio caller for many, many years. It was the very big symbol for the Yellowstone Wolf Project. It happened that it left the zone and it was killed by hunter, but it was done legally. Of course, people complaining and so, but anyway, it means only on that way we are going to build a sort of the compromise. We got a social capacity and biological capacity. Some years ago, my colleagues from Białowieża, Mama Research Institute in Białowieża, they produced a paper in which they elaborated a model of the wolf possible distribution in Poland within the next 15 years. It was Professor Jędrzejewski group. And they, using parameters from the environment, roads, prey base, and so, when they work on that model, the wolf population in Poland was about 500 individuals, and it covered about 12% of the Polish country. And they got, in that model, they find out that probably the wolf population in Poland goes to 1,500, 1,700 individuals, and it should be over 30% of the country. Now, if we see the data for today, we do not have 1,500 wolves, but we got probably between 3,000 maybe to 5,000 wolves. We do not know because nobody monitored that. and wolves are present on the 70% of the Polish territory. So it looks that biological model, which was based on the relatively good data, on the cover of forests, on the prey base, and so and so, now it looks that wolves do not need forests to live. They live in agricultural areas in the central part of Poland. They do not necessarily need red deer. They live on other species. They kill domestic dogs and so and so. So I think that our model was wrong. Wolf shows that got much higher potential than we expected, and we should accept this as the biological fact.
And we can see it in Romania, for example, in Brajov, where we have brown bear and wolf living in the cities.
In the cities.
And bringing their pups also in the cities and breeding there and so on. That leads me to another question, or the question we just discussed before. Really, in Germany also, we observe that wolves become more and more close to humans. They are more and less shy and less timid, as we expect from a wild animal normally. So what is your opinion? What can we do to keep them away from humans? So what we're actually doing is executing single individuals. So clearly that doesn't work. In Switzerland, they have the idea, and they practice this a little bit now, to kill 1 or 2 pups every year from every wolf pack. So the mother and the father of wolf will learn that man is dangerous to them. Would that be a way we can manage it for the future, or do we have other ideas?
I think it's pretty interesting question, because I still remember years when wolf was in Poland a game species, when hunters hunted wolves. So it was until 98 still, but I remember even the situation from 80s. And I know that the first idea that the wolves are coming somehow, that the distance between humans and wolves are getting closer and closer, so they are somehow not coming intentionally closer to us, but the distance is closer, actually came from hunters, from Polish hunters about 15 years ago already. But then the hunters were accused by this deep conservationist people that this information is false, because hunters would like to spread a panic among people, and they just want to kill wolves. Okay, so then the hunters stopped this so-called negative propaganda. But now I already see that even those, very green organizations, they already accepted that. There are some books even in Poland describing how to behave when the wolves are very close to you. I think this is also material which was created by Large Cargo Initiative for Europe, how to behave, whatever. And of course they say that we should shout, whatever, they do this type of things. In my opinion, we can follow the example of the white boar. White boar live in the cities now, Berlin, Krakow, Warsaw, and so and so. This generation of white boar which were born in cities, they treat cars, lights, and humans in the city as the normal elements of the environment, and the humans are not harming them. So that's why white boar in the cities, they are coming very close to humans, because humans causing no problem to them. I think that this, what Switzerland people are trying to do, and so, or in Germany, let's say, taking one wolf and so, is just a sort of, what is the German way? Ersatz?
It's a substitution.
It's a substitution. I think that you know that each country trying to find out his own somehow solution. We do not have a sort of panaceum ready for each country. So, for example, Switzerland can use it, or Austria can use it, Germany can use it. This is so many local situation with here. But if we are not doing that, it will be like the beavers which we were discussing last evening.
Another idea we just discussed here in Germany, but no one would like it. let's look at Italian situation. In Italy, I think the protection status is also Annex 4, in my opinion. It's strictly protected. Everything is forbidden. Nobody is allowed to harm a wolf. But everything is done illegal, and it works somehow.
Yes, yes.
So,
but then it would mean, as we discussed last evening also, that we keep our eyes open, that we are breaking the law.
Yeah.
So it's like, on one hand, it's like legal breaking, I mean, illegal breaking by the law, but in a sort of more or less legal way, you know.
Yeah.
So we know this is one of the craziest things of what we can do.
Yeah.
Because we somehow give the information to the people that the law is just on the paper. And you can do whatever is good to do.
And what we discussed was, let's legalize this model. So let the livestock farmers solve their problems if wolf attacks, and they will not, as suspected maybe for others, follow the wolf wherever it goes, but they will protect and defend the herds. But they kill a wolf if it attacks, but they let the wolf go if it attacks not. So, but everyone was against it. The hunters were against it. So they told that every farmer should not go with a shotgun in my hunting district. And I said, okay, but not you as a hunter have the problem, but the livestock farmer has the problem. So maybe these people can solve their problem, and wolves learn to keep away.
I think that if we, first of all, at least in Poland, I think that in Germany you got the monitoring which is carried on and so on, but this German monitoring is also complicated and expensive, and I think it's not. I think that monitoring should be simple. But anyway, in Poland we have even no idea how many wolves we have and where. So the starting point, in my opinion, is that we should first of all have a monitoring which is based on the science, and monitoring which can bring us a hard data on the wolf population. If we got that, if we got a second set of data where we have the heaviest damages to the livestock at the beginning, then we should just get a decision. Okay, in that particular hunting unit, for example, this winter, we can kill 2 or 3 wolves. But then we should forget about alpha female, alpha male, and all of that things which are coming from this deep conservation people who are saying that what will be the turbulence when the alpha male or alpha female will be killed. But the same is happening every day in the nature. If the alpha animal is killed, another animal is just taking the place very soon. It's not like that. There's something. So this is the starting point. A little bit of evolution is right now happening in Poland, because until now it was like that the General Directorate for the Nature Conservation give a permit to kill a particular wolf and a particular owner, and only causing the damage, which was ridiculous. Just last month, for the first time on the Polish history, the authority allowed to kill 3 wolves in the administrative district, so on a relatively large area. And those 2 wolves and the 3 wolves were killed within first 3 days of this when it was given. So it means that the density was very, very high. And I think that this is the right step. So we are just removing some wolves, but forget about each wolf is going to kill a sheep if it's got a chance. It is a rubbish saying that they specialized in sheep and not specialized in sheep. No, this is just the prey. So we should have the same action towards the wolf population. And if this type of thing is going to happen, maybe this is my dream, but I think that this is the only possibility somehow to show that wolves that they shouldn't come too close to us. But it is also the matter of planning. You know, this is the relatively bigger scale. So I think that it should be really an advisory group which will have all of this data, because I think it's not the problem of one commune It's not the problem of one province. It's the problem of half of the Germany right now, and nearly all Poland is just within the situation. So, but that point of view is very unpopular.
So a campaign should be make the wolf wild again.
Absolutely.
100%
agreement.
Okay, very interesting. Maybe one other question we are discussing also here in Germany. Is it sufficient only to monitor wolves and killings, or should we have also a kind of acceptance monitoring, that we ask people on a regular basis, is acceptance increasing, decreasing, or on a steady level? Because in my opinion, management, the first goal of wolf management actually is keeping people accepting wolves. And so in my opinion, we should have an acceptance monitoring in addition. So we have in Germany a quite good wolf monitoring from counting wolves.
Yes, I know.
It underestimates, clearly we count, as in any wild animal, we count less than really are there. And we can see it by the roadkill wolves. There is a certain part of the roadkill wolves are not identified by any wolf pack and any one wolf. So and not all of these roadkill wolves come from Belarus or from somewhere. So there are more wolf packs and more single wolves, as we know. That's normal. It's no problem. But what we don't have is acceptance monitoring.
That's pity, because I think that is one of the most important things, if not the most important right now. In Poland, we unfortunately neither do that. Some years ago, probably 15 years ago, with my PhD student, we made such a survey, and it turned out the result was very interesting, because definitely we have a very big gap or division in the Polish society. I don't believe, and I think it is completely not true, when I said, when the journalists are saying that the Polish society is for the full protection of the species. What does it mean, Polish society? If we got a rural society and the city society. Of course, people in the cities who has nothing to do with the wolves, with the problems with the wolves are causing. Of course, they are very much naive and very much in favor of the total protection and so on. Do not touch the species, do not do anything like that. But then if you go to the people in the villages, this is quite contrary. Many of them hate wolves, and so they would like to accept any type of steps to even some of them to exterminate them. We are very much divided into the two very big groups, completely not even talking to each other very often. And I know that the Scandinavians, they were, especially Sweden, they carried on a very interesting acceptance studies, and they made it very much in advance of when the wolf came. And this is incredibly interesting pattern on that. I mean, when the wolves are far away, even rural people are very much in favor of the wolves. They are very much positive, okay, wolves is good, and so on and so on and so on. When the wolf is coming to the area, the acceptance is decreasing, and the way we are causing a serious problem, the acceptance is even decreasing even more. So I think that the lesson is very simple. We should first of all listen or take care with the people which have the so-called wolf present on the area. So I think that if we use this type of thing, we will immediately see. That would be interesting in Germany. In Germany, you are still in the situation that you can start that acceptance studies in the place when the wolves are not yet present. But I would accept that it will be the same pattern as in Sweden. So generally, from that places which I know that acceptance is much lower in the rural societies. However, it is not like that they would like the wolves to be exterminated. No, but they would like to have wolves. But what very often they call it a reasonable number or whatever, or reasonable density. Of course, it's difficult to say what does it mean, reasonable density. But immediately, for example, we know that if a particular wolf is killed in some community, the people are somehow saying, okay, that was a good step because finally somebody just in Warsaw decided to do something with our problems, you know. And I think this is just a very simple way. Of course, it would be nice to measure if there would be any type of change of acceptance among the rural people. It would be good to do that type of things, but in Poland nobody's this type of things.
What do you think if we, maybe on a time scale of the next 10 years, if we cannot solve this problem, we cannot get more acceptance for the wolf, what do you think what will happen?
Definitely it will be in the society, at least in the rural societies, or it will be more and more acceptance to any type of illegal actions against wolves. That's in my opinion, that's obvious. I can tell you an example from Poland. When we use in Poland so-called or driving hunt, you know this driving hunts. A group of hunters, when they drive a sort of the area and so and so. Traditionally in Poland was like that if you are in the search of the driving hunt, which is usually given on the certain area, that usually you can hear most of the shots which was done. And the person who is responsible for the driving hunt, when we as the hunters gather together after, because usually during the day, depending on the terrain and so, we can drive 2 areas or sometimes up to 4 areas. After each of this drive, we got a meeting spot in place, all of us meet, and then tradition was, and not only this nearly, it was not only tradition, but it was basically, it was given by law, that the guy responsible for the driving hunt, he asked anybody, did you shot? And to what? And so, just to be, for example, also it was just the matter if for example, the red deer was not injured and so and so. It was obligation like that. These days, in the best wolf areas, nobody asks.
Okay.
Why? Because in my opinion, I can tell it in open, they also illegally shot wolves during the drive hunt. So if this type of thing is going to be, it is going to happen, so it means that we are what we discuss in the Italian situation. This is just the showing that the law is just the law, but we are doing policy ourselves. This is the one way which is going to happen, one possibility. The second one, which might happen, but that's depend on what we'll do in the possibility that a wolf attack a human being, seriously attack a human being. If this type of things happen in Poland, that I know for sure, that it will be such a pressure from the rural communities on the politicians, then the politicians will decide, okay, let's reduce the population then without any type of management plan. And this is the second possibility is going to happen. We got in Poland each year a few cases or more than a few cases of humans which evidently were either exposed to aggressiveness from the wolves or even attacked by wolves. Until now, that NGOs are always saying, okay, this is, you exaggerate, this person exaggerate, you know, and so, it was not like that. Until now, we didn't have yet a case which was really proved by 100%. And if that person is going to be badly injured, then we will have, let's say, I think that from the reasonable management, sustainable management, and also from the scientific point of view, we should ask for the compromise in advance. It's better to be proactive. It's better to accept maybe steps which are not very popular by everybody, but ask for the compromise.
Yes, that's it. I think it's our responsibility, because we are as scientists in the actual situation the only persons who can say that without blamed to be this or that.
Of course, among us scientists, we also, each of us, we got also our own philosophy, values, and so. Among the wolf researchers, we clearly see that that particular researcher is more for the full protection, the another one is more, for example, for the management. But however, we still operate with the scientific data, and I think I agree with you that we as the scientists were responsible to be less emotional and more based on the facts. We can quarrel about some sets of facts. However, that's our responsibility. But we can only suggest as the scientists. Decisions are in the hands of politicians, managers.
I think that should be a good conclusion, I think. And so thank you very much for this discussion. Very interesting. And maybe next time we are discussing another species.
We will see.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you.